Namaste, beautiful souls. Hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. It's Dr. Danny, physician astrologer. You guys got me all to yourself tonight. Can you all hear me? If anybody is in the chat and can let me know if they can hear me okay. I'm hearing my voice in the living room, so I think we are good. Hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. It's Dr. Danny. Cool. All right. Good. How's everybody doing? Oh my gosh, I have had the strangest couple of days. I took some time for myself yesterday during the eclipse, and I actually put on my eclipse glasses to see if I could see anything. But no, I was definitely not in the shadow in any way, shape, or form. So I did that. I just sort of relaxed outside, enjoyed the sunlight, and then had dinner and worked on a puzzle. It was very relaxing. And then this morning I woke up and there was, I looked at the solar flares because I do that every morning just to see what the sun's doing. And we had a X9 flare this morning. Wow. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I feel it. Audio is great. Thank you, Freebird. Namaste, Sybil. And Laurie is here. Thank you. Look up astrology. You guys are awesome. Yeah, I haven't done a solo live in a while. I really have enjoyed having Desiree with us. She is got a job. She went and got a normal Muggle job, so her life is filled up and her schedule's filling up. But she's still studying. She just can't always be here for the live energies. So yeah, that was my eclipse day. And then I wanted to tell you about my day today because it ties into what we're going to talk about today. We actually went through the last couple of weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks now, talking about Venus in Virgo, the rulerships of Virgo, as opposed, Venus opposed to Mercury. I even fired Mercury from rulership of Virgo. I don't know if y'all remember that, but I went through all of that. And so if you guys need to catch up, you guys can go ahead and do that after this video. What I'm going to do is plow forward because today Venus entered the stars of Libra. And so we need to talk about that. We need to talk about what this feels like, what it should feel like, what the proper rulership of Libra might be, because giving Venus the rulership of Virgo, I mean, that's a lot, right? I mean, she could probably do it, but I hear Mercury is looking for a job. And so I have the idea that maybe Mercury should rule Libra. And you guys, if you hear me out on it, I think it'll make sense for you as well. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll go through that. Let's see what else. Oh, I also want to show you some pictures because I took a picture of the sky this morning when I went out for my unicycle ride. So we'll go through all of that. And then, of course, announcements. You guys, you should really pat yourselves on the back. You're an amazing community, you're an amazing group of people. We got 20 people into the Uranus class. And so we met our goal for the donation for Serena's Disability Fund. Now, obviously, if more people want to join, that's great. It's always nice to sort of overshoot your goal. I absolutely love that. So everything aside from, what it takes to administer the course will go directly to that. And tomorrow afternoon around 3 p.m., I'm going to go ahead and submit that. And I will document that and I'll post it here on the YouTube community as well as in the Fellowship of 13 Signs, which if you're not signed up for, or if you haven't joined the Fellowship of 13 Signs, do that. We have some people that are there regularly posting, ready to answer your questions. If you have anything about, your astrology, anything that you're learning that you want to talk about, some crazy idea that you had, I mean, it's all totally fine. We're all very open-minded to any ideas you have. So join the fellowship if you have not already. And if you are not in the Uranus class and you're thinking about it even just a little bit, go ahead and do it. It's really going to be a blast tomorrow night. It'll change the way you look at Fridays forever. And then also, of course, that crown chakra activation guided meditation that I do for you is really, really incredible. And that's already available. So you could, sign up and then do that tonight. And then tomorrow, join us for the live. And I added that meditation, you guys, because I think this class is going to melt your brain just a little bit. I'm actually expecting to have a little brain melting. And those of you that are in the class should have gotten an email already on how to join the live class. as well as if you wanted to volunteer your birth data for any chart analysis. So we have quite a few volunteers already, so it should be pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night very, very much. Let's see, what else? Anything else? Let's see what you guys are talking about. Let's see. Yeah, a matrix job. Ew. Thomas Andrews says the last 4 days have been kooky for sure. Whose birthday is it? Somebody said it was their birthday. Cool. All right. And Rock, R-A-C-H, good morning from Australia. Wow, this is awesome. We have a global community. How fun. Cool, cool. Yeah. All right. So this morning I woke up to this X flare. Let me share my screen. Share entire screen. So here's the website I go to, you guys. It's spaceweatherlive.com. And you get it's like a daily feed. It's like they're monitoring the pulse of the sun. And it was about right here when I woke up and I looked at this, I was like, whoa, holy smokes. Okay. Amazing. So sometimes we all have different reactions to this. Some people look at these differently. Some people say they have no effects. There's documented effects that how we feel, heart attacks, how people trade, things like that can be affected by solar activity. The sun right now is in what we call solar cycle 25. So it's at a maximum. So and we're just about to enter the peak of it here at the beginning of 2025, and then it will go down. But what's really cool about these solar flares is that the stronger they are, the more likely they are to have a plasma ejection or coronal mass ejection. And when those hit Earth's magnetosphere, you get aurora. So if you live in the northern latitudes, in the next few days, check your northern skies, because you might be getting some aurora here in the next little bit. I mean, who knows what we'll have when we wake up tomorrow. This is what I noticed too, is that they give you the percentage chance of an X-class solar flare. And it's at 35%, which is the highest that I have seen it in quite a while. It usually hovers around 10, 15, 20%, but 35 is pretty good. So we might have some aurora in the coming weeks. Let's see. So one of the things that I talked about recently with Venus going through Virgo is sort of, what is the energy of Virgo? How do we look at this from a modern perspective? And what's coming is that Venus is about to leave Virgo and enter into the stars of Libra. And this is called the burned path by the ancients. And we're going to get into this in a little bit, but I was thinking maybe we could look at the sky real quick. I'm not very organized today, you guys. I think that solar flare actually messed up my brain a little bit. So I was kind of all over the place today. I did a reading, and when I was about 7 minutes to being finished, my entire computer just froze and died, and I had to stitch a video. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. So here we are. This is the sky right now. The sun, my friends, is very, very much in Virgo. Right here. We just had the moon do the solar eclipse, and now we're watching Venus enter into the stars of Libra. And this whole area right here is what we call that via combust, that burned pathway. And it represents the energy of moving through Libra, through Scorpio, through Ophiuchus, conjunct the galactic center, and it ends right here. This energy, once we pass the galactic center, is typically associated with rising of the phoenix or ascension energy. So Venus is about to enter this path, and we're going to talk about the first part of this path, which is only a couple of weeks. This will go basically from today until the full moon. So let's just watch that in the stars right now. The 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. And then once we get to the full moon on the 17th, her transit through Libra is just about finished. And you can see Mercury is racing toward us right here, and will join Libra stars after Venus is into Scorpio. But it's important to watch the order of things here, okay? Because last year, this pathway, this combust pathway, began with Sun entering Libra. Mercury and Venus were behind the sun last year. So now we've got a different kind of energy going in there first, almost preparing us, if you will. Venus is about our inspiration, our ability to create, what we're willing to create, what turns us on, what gets us aroused, what gets us excited about being in the here and now, and what we enjoy. And so for her to move through this combust path is a little bit of a different energy when you think about what Libra might really mean, rather than just sort of appropriateness, balance, harmony, all of that good stuff. I mean, all that stuff still very much applies. But when we're talking about, what's actually going on here, this creation energy, this divine feminine energy, what that movement through Libra means. And we'll look at some of the aspects too that support Venus. So let me stop sharing for a second, take a look at the chat, see what you guys are doing. Oh, yes. Thank you, Lori, for posting that chart, because when we get into the actual astrology, what you'll want to do is see where Libra is. Okay. So that's where the focus of this transit is. You want to go get your natal chart and see what house Libra is in. So for example, in my chart, it's going to be in the 6th house, but for you, it might be in your 1st house, which means Venus is going over your ascendant, which is a very different story for you personally. So let's see. Someone has a question. Freebird 0812. Would a more accurate birth chart be from the moment of conception, before birth, when our consciousness is blasted into the egg from the sperm, or a combination of both? Yeah, you can do that. I've heard people do that too. Cosmic Human Design does it 88 days before you're born. And, so I guess the question is, when do you believe that soul is in there? I have my beliefs, and conception might be the right way to do it. But the other thing is how do you know when you're actually conceived? I mean, you can document when someone's born, the time, the location, but when they were actually conceived, most people don't know. I mean, 51% of pregnancies are unplanned, and that's a statistical fact that I live with every day. So, you could use that, I guess. Yeah, but that's a good question. Thanks for asking. Darius CPU asked, how exactly do solar flares work in a simulation? Well, some people look at them as like cosmic DNA upgrades, where the program that you're running gets, upgrades, where you're able to do more, to perceive more, to level up, things like that. A lot of people associate it with ascension symptoms, things like headaches, gut discomfort, weird rashes, being really, really tired. So, I mean, if it's I guess you could certainly vibrate in an energy where you're not affected by it, where it doesn't matter to you. But, sometimes people, when you tell them that a solar flare is happening and then they associate it with symptoms, they're like, oh yeah, that's happened before. I can see that. So it's just whatever you can, whatever you see with your eyes, I guess. And a lot of the stuff I'm sharing with you guys, just, if it resonates with you and you can use it, that's what it's for. I want you to take whatever information works for you. And if it doesn't, then that's fine too. Like, I'm not trying to tell you have to believe me. You can feel into this and believe whatever serves you. So, all right, let me share again, because I want to show you what a beautiful scene that I had today that I think will inspire you guys a little bit. So I'm going to put that down, and we're going to go into this. Here we go. Oh, sorry. Let me open this up with photos. All right. So one of the things I do, like for exercise and just to get out in nature and relax, is I ride this little wheel. It's called an electric unicycle. And once you get the balance of it, it's really actually easy to ride. You just kind of look where you want to go, and it rolls. But it does require some balance. And yes, I've fallen a few times, but that was when I was first learning to ride. So anyway, I kind of tool about, go find some place in nature, and I hang out for a minute and I just think. And one of the spots I I landed today was right here. And I was just like, oh, this is so incredibly gorgeous. I mean, that's it. That's right there. So simulation or not, if you can see the beauty around you, if you can take it in, if you can understand that what's around you has been created by you in some form or fashion, it really just becomes, like that, more potent. And so that's what I love about these moments where I can go and have some solitude in nature. I can just take in the breathless beauty that is our simulation, planet, world, realm, whatever we're doing. And I'm going to go back to this picture, but I just wanted to show you the sky because this picture goes with it. So if you were to, dim the sun a little bit, this is the scene that's behind it. You've got the constellation of Virgo standing, rising, the divine birthing mother sky goddess. Venus just went through all this energy, right? There she is, and right after a new moon. So what you guys are going to be able to see in the sky in the west as a consequence of us just having a new moon, probably not tonight, but tomorrow night for sure. If you have a clear sky, look to the west after sunset, and you're going to see the waxing crescent moon and evening star Venus. And it is literally a breathtaking sight. I will probably take a picture of it and post it, but if you can catch it, if you've got a clear sky, no clouds, check it out. All right. So this eclipse was not in Libra. This new moon was not in Libra. Everything is still in Virgo right now, and Venus is about to enter this burned path. So here I was. It's Thursday. It's Jupiter's day. And did you know that every hour of the day also has a lord assigned to it, or a planet? And so it was about the third hour of the day, I would say. So the third hour after sunset, and it was the hour of the sun. And I didn't even make this up. I looked this up after I got home. So it was like the perfect picture. And all of a sudden, I just got this download. Like I had to start speaking. And so I talked into my phone and I dictated a bunch of words that were just flowing through me at the moment. And this is what I came up with. Okay. So as Venus crosses this burned path, the ancients would watch the luminaries go from the end of Virgo into the galactic center. They would process in a way that was counterclockwise, and it would move that luminary into the heart of the Milky Way galaxy. And for us in the Northern Hemisphere, this is a time of approaching our winter solstice. This is a time of many holidays put upon us, holidays like Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, Saturnalia. All of these holidays are upon us, or are coming for us. And we've been celebrating them in a way that, just sort of reminiscent of maybe some old customs. But there's actually some very deep meaning with these rituals and these holidays that we have around this time that are approaching. And when you understand the sky, when you understand the true heavens that you're under, you're looking at the clock, you're looking at the calendar. And these events, these rituals were timed around these celestial events. Okay, so Halloween marks the beginning of the burned path, basically, for the sun, because literally within a week, the sun enters the stars of Libra and begins the burned path through Libra, through Scorpio and Ophiuchus, and into the galactic center. So what does Libra stand for Venus, right? Libra typically stands for balance, harmony, justice, and equality. But the ancients saw it more as the way station between here, the earth, and the underworld. And the idea was that if you entered the underworld, your heart, it was weighed against a feather. This was, I think, in Egyptian mythology. So your heart was weighed against the feather. There's the scales, okay? Now, if your heart is actually heavier than a feather, what does that mean? That means that you've got something you're trying to bring into the underworld, something that's too heavy to actually go with you. So what weighs a heart down? Things that weigh a heart down are things like, guilt, feeling worthless, depression, anger, victimization, all these energies, they're just so heavy. And if they're in your heart, if they're on your heart and are weighed against a feather, then you can't proceed. You have to deal with that. Okay. But if your heart is lighter than the feather, weighing less than a feather, then your spirit is free. It's free to move. It's free to move into the underworld with Osiris and Isis. Okay. So this is the judgment realm. And a lot of times Venus energy, I don't know, she's not really good because she likes ecstatic bliss. Okay. She's ready for chaos on her shadow side, not really her shadow side, but the side that everyone sort of would label as a shadow. Whereas in Libra, it's kind of putting a dress on her, making her be appropriate, smiling, doing all the things you're supposed to do. Whereas she may actually have more of a desire to throw off all of that, to not worry about being beautiful, to not worry about being perfect, to simply be honest and authentic and true. And wouldn't that be a lot easier over the holidays? I don't know. It might not be. It might not be. So do you guys understand that? It's the heart versus the feather. Let's look at the chat here. Brian's here. Hey, Brian. This morning when I was getting ready for work around 3 a.m., the stars were so clear. I could see so many things that I never noticed before. Yeah, in the morning you can see Jupiter and Mars and the Pleiades on the eastern horizon, as well as Sirius rising, which is pretty amazing. Let's see. All right. One of these days I'm going to shut down my browser by mistake and then cut off the live. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. So that's that's Libra. It's more of a letting go, right? So what if your heart is heavier? What if you're coming into this space with a heavy heart, with things on your mind? How do you let that shit go? I mean, everybody's always telling us, let it go, it's going to be just fine. And really, I think it comes with your imagination. A lot of people that I've talked to, they've got the idea, like, I want to make a decision. I want this to be solved. I want this to happen. I want this to be that. And so I asked them, I say, what would it be like to simply imagine if that were already solved? And you can literally see them take a deep breath. So whatever it is that's got your heart heavy right now, take a minute, close your eyes, imagine what it might be like if it's fixed, because it's fixed. That's how easy it is. But you have to let go. You have to lighten your heart. And in order for Venus's full expression to come through in Libra, then we have to lighten our hearts, because that's where we get inspired, right? Right in the center, right behind the heart, right above the solar plexus, just behind and under the heart. There's that spark. That's where we feel that excitement to move forward and be creative. So I don't know, now is not probably the time to be polite and charming and beautiful, right? Now's the time to be honest and kind of like wipe your slate clean without regret, without admonishment, without worry, of what anybody else is going to think. I just don't think that's Venus's job, right? I think Mercury would be a much better ruler of Libra. And I hope you guys agree with me, because I see Mercury as an energy of exchange. It's giving and receiving knowledge. It's the flow of money. It's a manifestation cycle. It's an ebb and flow of energy. And most of all, it's balanced. People with a well-placed Mercury, wherever it is, whatever house it's in, they have a sense of balance anyway. Mercury can be a diplomat here. He can be a concierge. He can be a moderator, He can be a representative for Venus energy, for that divine feminine and her need to feel safe when vulnerable. So yeah, and the other thing too, you guys, I don't know if you know this, but Mercury was also associated with going to the underworld and back in mythology. So, he would go from the underworld and back. And aren't we just talking about how Libra is sort of that way station between the underworld and Earth? So if Mercury can go back and forth through Libra easily, sending messages, receiving messages, then I think he'd do a much better job. And I think he's looking for a job. So if it's okay with you guys, I'd like to put Mercury as the ruler of Libra. I'm going to show you what that might look like. I've showed y'all this before, but let me share my screen again so you can see it, what that might look like. Dr. Walker is here. Hello, hey Sue. Wow, I needed that. It's fixed. All right. So let's look at this. So this is the old wheel, right? The old rulership, where you have Sun ruling Leo, Moon ruling Cancer, Mercury ruling Virgo and Gemini, Venus ruling Libra and Taurus, Mars ruling Scorpio and Aries, and then Jupiter, Sagittarius and Pisces, and then Saturn, Aquarius and Capricorn. But I think that they did it this way because of distance from the sun. It just seems to make more sense, and it's actually how it's laid out is almost perfectly symmetric. So I like that it's a ruler in terms of measurements, but we've come to the point where we use it as a mode of dominance or a mode of ownership. And so I like it like this, where Venus, who is, spirit in creation, spirit in matter, sending the sensations back to source so that source can gain wisdom of its own creation. It's earthy. Virgo and Taurus are earth. Gemini and Libra are air, which is thought, which is Mercury, which is mind. And they also change positions in terms of their distance from us too. So this is not out of the realm of possibilities to look at it like this. So I like this. I like having Mercury be the ruler of Libra. And I wanted to kind of belabor this point with you guys because, as Venus moves through Libra, not only are we sort of tearing down the idea that Venus is in Scorpio right now, which she's not, we're also tearing down the idea that she rules Libra, and that the transit of her energy through Libra right now is charming and diplomatic and lovely, because it's not. So the next thing I wanted to do is basically show you some of the Venus transits, kind of go through those. And then also, I think that's everything I wanted to show you on that. Let me see if there's anything else. Yep, I showed you those. Okay. So let me stop sharing. Let's see. Ultima says the scales were watched by Anubis. Yep. If a person had led a decent life, the heart was balanced with the feather, and the person was rendered worthy to live forever. Yep, that's exactly right. The other thing that you will notice too about Libra is that it's associated with the 7th house. So it's to the west of the chart, because the left side of the chart is the eastern side and the right side of the chart is the western side. So if you are looking for something and you're doing, for example, horary astrology, where you can ask the sky a question, if you're looking for a lost object, you can look in Libra. So that's interesting. So the west, the sunset, as the sun is setting, it's going from the earth to the underworld. So that's all very Mercury's realm, I think. I think that works really, really nicely. All right. Yeah. So Jupiter's day, the hour of the sun, that was a very inspirational moment for me today. Let me just show you this article real quick, and then I think we can get into the astrology. Let me share again. Let's see. Who else is talking? Yeah, Libra, like a library. Let's see. Twilight Myths, like the office manager versus the CEO. Yeah, I like that. Libra, Aries, libraries. Well, good. I'm glad you guys are resonating with that, because it just feels like it makes sense to me. And you know what? There's no governing board of astrology. We can develop a cosmology that works for us. that helps our souls on their guided path. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, as long as it makes sense, you know, when you're doing the readings and you're feeling into it. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Y'all, I am so scattered. Okay, let's just get into the astrology here. All right, so this is Prometheus Capricorn, and this is the chart for today. And I want you guys to look right down here where my cursor is. I'm highlighting Venus. And so when we're looking at this chart, the line here is the horizon, and everything above this is the sky above that we can see above the horizon. Everything below that is below the horizon. We can't see that yet. This is 5:52 in the morning, and this is when Venus just entered into the constellation, the stars of Libra, per the midpoint boundaries. And so if you were to generate your natal chart from drdanny.com, you just go to the free chart generator. Wherever Libra is in your chart, you want to look on this inner ring, okay, and see what house it's in. All right, if you can identify the house it's in, then you are going to know exactly what part of your life Venus will affect you. In this chart, in this time frame where we are, it's in the second house, but this is not my chart. I think Libra is in my sixth house. So for me, Libra sits on this side of the chart, and so Venus will be traveling through my sixth house. Okay, guys, so that's how you can make it a little bit personal for you. All right, so the very first thing that I noticed when I was running through the transits for Venus through Libra is this grand trine between Mars, Saturn, and Venus. Do you guys see that? This is just a very lovely energy. This has been going on for a few days already. And Venus is approaching these two guys. She will actually be trine to Mars for most of this transit, which I think is really quite lovely. There's actually a sacred masculine and a divine feminine energy that's coming together here in unity, in harmony, through Gemini and Libra, which is mental energy. So it's almost as if there is a masculine and a feminine communication, a give and take of knowledge that's coming together here and bringing Venus into Libra. I think Venus needs a lot of support in Libra. There's a lot of letting go. There's a lot of just sort of letting the heart be free. A lot of times our hearts feel heavy because of regret, because of things we thought we should have done, or things that we maybe would have done and didn't do. Okay. And you really can't be in a state of regret. You have to say, okay, well, I would have done it differently, and today's a new day, and that's how I'll do it if it comes to me again this way, right? Like, you would change the situation, you would do it differently. And that's the goal. That's where the learning comes in. And that's where you got to be easier on yourself and let your heart be light, and know that you went through that lesson for a reason. And it'll become clear eventually, and probably after we get through this part of the sky where Venus has to transit through the burned path. All right. So this is a divine feminine, sacred masculine energy that is also very well supported by the energy of Saturn, the energy of responsibility, reliability, mastering lessons, crystallizing your reality in a way that's harmonized and balanced. During this transit, Pluto is going to station direct as well. I forgot to mention that, and it just came into my head, so I'm going to put that out there. But this grand trine is just a flow of energy. It's really nice. It's all air. It's all mental. So you have Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. And so we're going to have thoughts and words and exchanges that are also very meaningful and useful and inspiring. So this is really good. This is really good. We're coming into some good energy. There's some other things that maybe won't feel so nice, like the Mars T-squaring Chiron and the moon today. I felt that maybe as a jittery energy myself today. I'm not sure about you guys, but today was a very jittery energy for me. The moon will move out of there, and the square will still remain between Mars and Mercury, Mars and Chiron. So let's animate this. With this software program, you can do that, except my streaming software is being silly. There we go. All right, so October 3rd, today, we're going to move through day by day. Watch Venus down here. She's moving through Libra. So there we go. That grand trine persists. And then just as the moon passes over and moves through the galactic center, the grand trine between Saturn and Mars breaks up. She's still trine with Mars, but not with Saturn. So this is around the 9th of October. And the energy that forms is what's called a yod. And you guys may have heard me talk about this before, but this is a pretty powerful combination. So we're going to break this down. I wish I could use my pen with this software. It's driving me crazy. I got to figure it out. But here we have Venus in the heart of Libra, in the heart of the scales. And we've got a finger of fate, a finger of God, or a yod in the chart between Venus and Jupiter, Jupiter and Chiron, Chiron and Venus. And it's actually a boomerang yod because the reaction is going to be a Uranus and Taurus energy. So let me just back out of this real quick. I want to show you one thing that I have in another PowerPoint. See, I'm all over the place today, you guys. This is what you're working with when you've got a yod in a chart. So remember, it's Jupiter over here, it was Chiron over here, and then Venus down here. So the skill is between Jupiter and Chiron. Chiron's in Pisces, retrograde, speaking to our deep subconscious wounds, disconnection from spirit, healing, understanding that there's a duality in this world, and to see it from a higher perspective, and to still love with compassion and kindness. Sextile to Jupiter in Taurus, which is, expansion, abundance, optimism, and joy. And so perhaps it's a bit easier now to integrate those wounds of Chiron with the assistance of Jupiter, with the physical nature of our realm. Like this morning is the perfect example when I went out and I was, able to enjoy the beauty of the sunlight. And it was just a beautiful morning. So that, said to me, that gave me inspiration. That made me feel connected to spirit. And then the challenge comes from the quincunx to Venus. So Jupiter and Venus in a quincunx is not actually a challenge, but it can go over the top. So maybe there's too much. Maybe there's idealism or some sort of energy like that, overcoming that, but using it to help with the creative process. And I think I did. I mean, there's no yod today like this, but this is how you could see it, using the inspiration from Jupiter to help inspire the creative energy of Venus, and then using the healing to also inspire the creation, bringing that together and going for the reaction, which is Uranus, the boomerang part of it. And what's Uranus? Well, in a nutshell, we're going to go over Uranus tomorrow night in a big way, but Uranus is about metamorphosis. Uranus is about individuality. Uranus is the divine fractal expression of uniqueness that is you in this avatar, in this lifetime, in this timeline. And sometimes it can be a lonely road, being unique, being the only you, because there's no one there that can say, yeah, you're doing amazing, you're great, keep going. You just kind of have to do it. It requires a high level of skill, a high level of genius, and the ability to be inspired where no one else might be. So I like this. I like the combination of Venus and Uranus too, because your creative ideas, your relationships can take really interesting and unexpected twists, especially when it comes down to Earth and practicality, because it's, a Uranus and Taurus and a Venus and Libra. So it's air and earth together. So we might have some unexpected manifestations. Either in your creation, in your relationships, you might fall for somebody that you never even thought you would fall for. It's pretty quick. It's a quick energy. It's maybe about peaks for about 3 or 4 days, but go with it and don't be embarrassed or shy about it. Don't feel guilty about it. Don't regret it. Just go, okay, very cool. And then move on, because this yod will stay with us for about 3 days until we get to the 12th. And then we're still trying to Mars, and now we are trying to Neptune. So that started the day after the yod started. So now we have a trine to Neptune. Neptune in Pisces. So Pisces attains enlightenment through everything and anything that is possible. So sky's the limit here with creation. And in Pisces, that's where Neptune's home. And it's truly about the spiritual. So it's the work that we do on the inside. It's the work that we do when we're in the quiet space, when we're not having thoughts. So releasing thoughts, letting go of thoughts, being in a pure place of spiritual love and compassion. That's where we can access that Venus. That's where we can access that unique individual spark and divinity of creation. So Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto are actually doing this formation that they've had for several weeks, and it's felt very. It feels like the universe, these higher planets are supporting us in a way. When you have a trine between Uranus and Pluto, which is metamorphic transformation, and then Neptune asking us to surrender to both processes of transformation and metamorphosis. So we're all going through it. The sun's firing off. We're getting these upgrades. We're going through these energetic shifts. Our psychic antennas are opening up. They're super vulnerable right now. And we're getting illusion delusion as well. So be careful not to create for the illusion, right? One of the things I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about a little bit was about the magic that's being done to us. And it has to do with this trine to Venus. So, as we're going through this waxing moon cycle from the new moon yesterday to the full moon on the 17th, this is something you really want to pay attention to. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. Because this also came to me this morning, that there's magic being done to us. Okay, from all sides, inadvertently, even from others. I might even be doing magic on you. Okay. But for me, the magic that's being done, that I see being done to people, is these calendars and these seasons and this perfect zodiac of 30 days. It's kind of shifting the resonance from what's really available to you in terms of code breaking the simulation that you're in, or the matrix that you're in, or this reality that you're in. It's this as above, so below kind of energy. Okay. If you're of the mindset that the above is simply, Virgo season that started on the 21st of August, I think, is when they said it started, and it didn't actually start till September 15th. If that's your sky, are you in resonance with what your soul's guiding you to do and what the universe wants you to do, right? Yeah, the 24-hour clock. Exactly. These rituals and these customs, I'm bringing it back to Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. These rituals and these customs they do during these times of the years when there's these alignments are energies that actually tap into our DNA from our ancestors way, 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 way back. And when we're just going through the motions, we're actually giving our energy to something else rather than our own creation. I don't know what that is, and I don't know if it's sinister. A lot of people think it is, but it's definitely not for us. It's something that drains us, that pulls energy away from us. And so when you dig deep into the roots of what these holidays were for, what they were meant for, what peoples did them in order to honor, venerate, or to the magic to bring forth in their own community, it really makes sense. And so I just wanted to put that out there, that like the worst kind of magic is the kind of magic you really don't even know is being done to you. And if you can do astrology without looking at the stars, that feels a little bit like magic being done to you rather than doing your own magic. Can you guys actually imagine a world where everyone knew what time it was just by looking at the sky? I mean, really, can you imagine that? That when you look at it, it's actually the way we're supposed to do it. Okay, that's the true calendar. The true calendar is what's above us right now. And we've been under a hypnosis for a very, very long time. So if we can look behind the curtain of the, Monday through Friday calendar, the January through December calendar, the Aries, Aries to Pisces calendar, and we can see the mechanics in the sky. We can see the machine moving. Every single one of us can do this. That's how our ancient brothers and sisters did it. That's why they had these holidays. That's why this time of the year was so important. So, and I think it will also help us get to a point where we live in a world that is not only technologically advanced, but also in harmony with nature by using nature's clock, right? By knowing what time it is simply by looking at the sky. I mean, I just think that would be amazing. So let's see what else is left for Venus's transit through Libra. So we have that yod breaking up around the 12th. That's when Pluto stations direct. So get ready for that, you guys. All of those internal transformations that you've been going through, they're about to become manifest externally. You guys, there's going to be a lot of chaos coming externally. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit, but October 12th, get ready for that. So we have a swelling moon. We have Pluto going direct. We have Venus entering the burned path, very well supported by Mars and Saturn as she enters into the stars, being challenged by a yod with Jupiter, Chiron, and Uranus, and now moving towards the latter half of the transit. So by now we're into the first quarter moon and approaching the full moon. So that was the whole idea behind being the trine to Neptune, is to maybe see behind the veil, maybe pierce beyond these magic spells that are being overlaid upon your eyes. And so now Mars, Venus, and Neptune are in a trine with each other. So first it was Saturn, and now it's Neptune. And so now there's almost a spiritual and soulful connection, because we have water, air, and air. So water and air is spirit and soul. So that balanced divine feminine masculine with the spiritual energy of Neptune. Overall, this is a really nice transit for Venus. She starts a sextile with Pluto too, as Pluto's going direct. So this is very, very powerful energy right here. This is transformation in the relationships. This is transformation with your creation. This is literally a confrontation with the ego in terms of your creative energy as well. So what's your ego doing? Are you good with your ego? Are you and your ego friends? If they are, you're going to be fine. You're going to be amazed at the power that you have through here, because Venus actually loves chaos energy. She loves creation energy, but she also likes chaos energy, because there's opportunity to create. And as she moves through the stars of Scorpio and Ophiuchus in the next few weeks, after that full moon, she'll be making aspect to the collective lunar nodes as well. So now there's a destiny as she moves through and into the void, into the chaos, and then arises anew as the phoenix when she passes the galactic center. All right, so that's the beginning of the burned path with Venus. And I don't know if I was clear enough about how important chaos is for your creative energy, for Venus, about getting the rulerships right. It just makes more sense as we move through this part of the sky. And every year I feel like that I have the need to share it. And I don't know if I've been quite clear enough. We have a lot of attachments this time of year too, because it's associated with family. It's associated with being in the energy of other people that may or may not resonate with us. But again, remember, we do that by choice. We don't always have to have these holidays when they say we're supposed to, right? If you need to make Christmas later or earlier in the year, just to celebrate Christmas with your family, do that. This time of year is more about going inward, letting go, lightening the heart, letting everything that doesn't serve you die. Go back to chaos, go back to the creation so that you can begin anew, so that you can allow new energy into your field and to continue creating, ever expanding, ever broadening your perspective and your horizons. So I think that's everything I wanted to talk about tonight. Yeah, we talked about the eclipse energy. That was pretty amazing. I'm excited to see what comes from that, from just being with spirit yesterday and this morning. I'm excited to see what comes next. I'm excited about tomorrow night, about our Uranus class. Oh my gosh, you guys, if you have not signed up, sign up. We did meet our goal, and so I'm super excited. But if anybody wants to join the class before 3 o'clock tomorrow, that will be contributed to Serena's Disability Fund. And yeah, so also Jeep Chats. I got one coming out for you guys on Sunday. It's about bodily autonomy and patient rights and responsibilities. So it's a little 12-minute chat about that. And I enjoy doing those on the way to work for you guys. Marcia Lee, thank you for the great work. Dr. Danny, thank you for coming. Yeah, thank you all for coming so much. I really appreciate all the kind words and your emails. I am getting to them. So if you guys have sent me an email and I haven't responded, I'm sorry. If it's been more than a week, just hit me up again. This week's been a little bit crazy. I just tried to take a few days off, and that's what I get. I get backed up and behind, and then my computer crashes on me. So, but yeah, I'm feeling grateful. I'm feeling optimistic. The world's crazy. Try not to get too triggered by it. Try to just go inward towards the inner self, tap in with source. That's where the inspiration comes from. That's where you can stay optimistic and hopeful and imaginative of a better future. We can do it, and we can do it together. So if you guys want to work with me, all my links are below. And for those of you in the class, I'll see you tomorrow night. And I hope you guys have a fantastic evening and a wonderful weekend.